Welcome to another episode of the TopOff, brought to you by Drink and Know Stuff. I'm Brook Ray. Today we're going to be talking about wine and cheese.
You dare eat my truffle cheese!
Get lost in the heads of dreams. I get lost in the heads of dreams.
Okay, so today we're talking wine and cheese. I went down to my favorite local cheese shop, 10 to 1 Artisan Cheese here in Denton, and picked up some cheese. Now, if you live in Denton, awesome, you can go there. If you don't, well, I'm sorry for you. Anyway, so today, why are we talking wine and cheese? It's a classic pairing, right? Not so fast. Wine pairs with cheese sometimes it doesn't. Cheese is just another food product. It has different weights, different intensities, different textures, and these things all come into play when you're pairing it with wine. So today, I picked a Sancerre from the Loire Valley that's 100% Sauvignon Blanc. Now, very acidic, crisp wine, and we're going to see how it matches with these cheeses. Our very first cheese is the Black Betty.
That better not be my truffle cheese!
It is not your truffle cheese. It is the Black Betty Goat Gouda. It's a limited release cheese. It's very hard, very intense, and very salty. I have tasted the cheeses, but I haven't tasted this wine nor the wine with the cheese. So let's try it. Here we go. There's almost like little crystals in there, and that's what you want when you want this kind of like intense goat Gouda. But it's also very creamy at the same time. Ooh, big saltiness. I'm excited to see what happens here. Okay, so with this wine, even though it's not a high alcohol wine, that heavy saltiness from the Black Betty brought out all this alcohol bite from the wine, killed all the fruit, and even the acid got killed a little bit. It didn't destroy the wine to make it unpleasant, it just muted it and made it really quiet. It made the cheese nice and bright. I would say that that is a successful pairing, but it's not one that is exponential, if you know what I mean. All right, let's move on to our next cheese that we're going to try with this lovely Sancerre. We've got a Tomme Crayeuse from France. It's goat cheese that we're going to try as our next cheese.
That better not be my truffle cheese!
It's not your truffle cheese. All right, creamy, rich, beautiful cheese. Lots of weight here, right? As far as a texture and creaminess, just a little hint of tang, and the saltiness comes in at the end. Let's see what it does with the wine. Now, we have a totally different wine, even though we don't. Tastes completely different. This wine is now grassy, a little bit of hay in the field, the finish especially. And it also brings out an interesting sort of quince note. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was a different wine altogether. I promise you it's not. So I'm excited to move to the next one. Okay, so for our third cheese, we're going to keep with the goat cheese theme, and we're going to do Leonara. It's from Spain, and it is also a soft cheese, but much more rustic and much more funky.
That better not be my truffle cheese!
Still not your truffle cheese. All right, so this cheese, a lot of funk. A lot more earthy, mushroomy sort of flavors. Definite mushroom on the beginning. And it is so creamy, just coats the inside of your mouth, and it's really fluffy. I would say it was even slightly fluffier than this cheese, but a completely different taste. I'm interested to see what happens to the wine now. Again, this is one of those times where you're like, is this even the same wine? It is completely different. Now I've got a wine that has like peach notes and is almost warm tasting and almost sweet. And that's not what this character of this wine was in the beginning at all. That cheese has completely changed the wine. And if I were to say professionally, I feel like it almost destroys the wine. This wine just can't keep up with this cheese. So let's see what happens when we go to a fourth cheese. So I'm super excited to try the fourth cheese. I think I might need a little more wine. Don't want to be short. Now, this next cheese, Sottocenere.
That my truffle cheese too?
No, that's not your truffle cheese. It's totally your truffle cheese. In fact, this is one of my favorite well, as you can tell, part of the cheese has left. That was my cost of being able to use her truffle cheese in my segment. So, Sottocenere al Tartufo. It is a cheese that has real truffle in it, and it also has this really cool ash around the side. The outside has an ash rind, which is very interesting. You can eat it. Some people find it odd. I think it's very tasty, but definitely truffles have an intense sort of flavor. But this is a very creamy, beautiful cheese. It is a cow cheese, and it is not similar to these other ones at all. So I figured, why not eat the truffle cheese? It is one of our household favorites. Super creamy, tons of that truffle edge, but not overpowering. You know, don't think cheap truffle oil. It's just a lovely meld of flavors and a wonderful texture. Surprising. That's very surprising. This is why I love doing this kind of thing, because you never know what you're going to get. None of these cheeses were destroyed by the wine or vice versa, but each one did something different. And the truffle cheese actually makes the wine taste the most Sauvignon Blanc-y, if that is a word. It actually brings out all of the acidity, the brightness, the crispness. You still get some grass, you still get some grapefruit, you still get a little bit of the citruses, but it's like it's perfect together. I hope you enjoyed today's segment. It's a lot of fun working with cheese and wine, and I hope you go out and then continue your own journey by finding several cheeses to go with one wine or several wines to go with one cheese. If you're in the Denton area, hit up 10 to 1. You can find all their information in the description because they are the best. If you're not in this area, find your own cheese shop. And cheesemongers are the sommeliers of cheese. Till next time, remember, it's good to know stuff, but it's better to drink and know stuff.
Get lost in